It's January 4th, 2015, and we want to know, will Killer Croc be updating his LinkedIn and Match.com profiles this week?
What happens when Highfather tells Motherbox to recruit a team of teenagers with attitude?
All this and more is coming up next, so kick the tires and light the fires. DCR is starting now.
We rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey everybody, it is I, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, welcoming you back to yet another episode, the post-holiday madness episode of DCR, aka, as it is called in my notes here, the holy shit, that's a lot of books episode of DCR. What we're going to do is go over some of the DC comics, what's happened in them, talk about those types of things, but I can't do it alone because I have my compatriots in crime here with me today, Mr. Brian Glein, Pun Master General.
Oh yeah, Sean, it's a new year, new DCR.
Oh, God, no,
oh, yeah.
no, Ixnay, no, that is done. 2015 is over if that's how we're doing it. Not anymore, it is now 2016.
I can rewind as well.
No, get it out of here, get it out of here. Out. We're also joined by Brian's better half, who does not have gadgets in his hand, or in her hand, the lovely, bubbly, effervescent Miss Kelly. Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
How was your God damn it. No. I will smack that thing out of your hand. Kelly, how are you today?
Great.
Is this how it's going to be? We have such a long way to go today, and this is how we're starting off.
He's been waiting all week to do that to you.
Sure
like, all week. You have no idea.
Kelly, can you tell the people what we're going to do today?
We're going to spoil the books that came out from the DC Comics New 52 line on Wednesday.
Yes. So what should the people not do if they have not read their books?
Don't listen if you haven't read your books.
That's right, because we are a spoiler cast. So you are now forewarned. Do not listen if you do not want your books spoiled. I do have in my notes here questions, ha 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 ha, no, because there's so many books. No. This is not cool, dude. Because we have so many books, and we have no time to mess around with silly sound effects and stuff of that ilk, we are going to be skipping questions for this week. So let us stop the dilly-dallying, the silliness, the goofiness, and move forward into this week's books. Okay, top of the stack, starting off, Superman number 37. Just a forewarning to you guys, because this is so many books, it's 26 in this episode.
Yeah.
Some of these titles are going to be a little high level, some of them will kind of dig a little deeper into. It's kind of a mishmash at the moment, so please bear with us this week. By next week, we'll be back on track again. But in Superman...
Enjoy the classic Brian synopsis on many of these.
Yes. Superman has been dealing with the gentleman by the name of Ulysses, as he is known, or in the foreign tongue, or the exotic tongue of his native planet, Neil. He was tossed away. You laughed at that a little too hard, Kelly. He was tossed out of his home planet of Earth when his parents thought that Earth was going to blow up, so they kicked him through a dimension. He's kind of a reverse analog Superman. He's the Earthling that was sent away. He came back, kind of has been palling around with Superman, and then kind of figured out that our planet sucks, and he told everyone that. He went on TV and said, hey, everyone, I'm actually from here, so I can say this. This planet blows, so... First 6 million people to get on one of my spaceships, you can come back to the great world with me, the planet where I've been growing up. No famine, no disease, no wars. Every night is 10-cent wing night. It's the best. You guys should totally come. So, of course, the people are doing that. They're jumping on board. And Superman seems to think that there's something not quite right about this, other than the fact that Ulysses is stealing 6 million people from Earth. By the fact that Ulysses will not take his parents. He keeps telling them to stay. And we ended last issue with Ulysses punching out Superman because he says, hey man, you're a pretty cool guy. I don't want you to get involved in all this, but I have to keep you out of the way while we're doing this whole thing. And in this issue, number 37, they've basically decided to keep him out of the way by putting him in restraints in the main mothership of their fleet. You know, out of the way so that he can never cause any issues. But most of this one is basically Superman trying to, instead of punch his way out or throw something through a portal or into the sun, trying to talk to Neil and tell him, hey, dude, I don't know what exactly you're planning here, but it's probably not good. I have a feeling you're probably going to do something to all these people. Hey, also your parents are on board. They didn't listen to you. They came anyway. And these ships actually go over to the Great World. They load up to 6 million people. They teleport over there. And what they're going to do, I'm assuming they are from the Hestonia sector of Soylent Green system, because they're basically just going to dump all 6 million people into a giant meat grinder and use it to fuel the planet. That's how this civilization is able to have everything at once. It basically dumps all these people into a big old vat, and then it cooks them down, and that's what maintains their control of the core of their planet and generates food and heat and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Ew.
Yeah, not too cool whatsoever. So finally Superman convinces Ulysses, hey, you should let me go so we can stop this. And only because his parents are on board, he goes, okay, man, I'm trusting you with this. Let's go do it. He and Superman fly out there. They end up reversing the controls and sending all the humans back to Earth before they can be tossed in the meat grinder. But, whoopsie, in that process, they accidentally break the main mothership's thrusters and it crashes into the planet, destroying the entire Great World.
Oh.
And tossing Superman and Ulysses into space, where Ulysses is incensed at this point that he trusted Superman. He had one job, and it was not to destroy his own planet. And apparently he was unable to do that, and it ends with Ulysses throttling Superman. You dumb bastard, you blew up my planet. Actually, it's really sad. He's like, I could hear all of their screams as the atmosphere thinned out until there was nothing to carry the sound of their death through the cosmos. It's like, geez, dude, it's a little harsh.
Yeah.
But you were gonna kill a lot of people.
But it was just humans. I mean, they thought they were going to 10-cent wing night. Woo, 10-cent wing night. I hate you. I hate you already. So yeah, it was a little bit better than remember how we were kind of worried it was going to be the whole heel turn of, ha ha ha, I'm actually a bad guy. This actually has a lot of development to the point where this guy is has a very good reason to not like Superman moving forward.
Yes.
And it's completely justified in his actions, pretty much. As long as he doesn't blow up Earth. You know, that would be rude.
That would be rude.
But you also had a major turn of events in your Superman book.
Yes, I did. Superman Wonder Woman number 14. Not a lot happened last issue.
No, it looked
Tomasi nice,
getting
but
his feet wet.
Yeah.
He's like, here I am. Here, okay.
Yeah, so we start off, we see some lady as forging a spear. And
Some lady?
Some lady.
Oh, I hate some lady.
Some lady. And she has it out for Wonder Woman. Now, last issue, they were saved from, who was it? It was Atomic Skull and Major Disaster.
Correct.
They were saved by this guy named Wonder Star, who's this big gold-plated
doofus
express for men model with gold streaks in his hair. He's like, hey, check it out, I'm Wonder Star. I'm awesome. I can punch people. Yeah.
I was going to say, most Express for Men, models do have gold streaks in their hair, so
maybe that's where he got his powers from.
His perfect Indiana Jones stubble and
that's hard to do, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's really hard. Like I have to maintain that all day if I want to try to get that look. It's literally me with a razor just running into a bathroom every hour like, shit, it grew another quarter inch.
He's a new hero. He doesn't know who he is or where he came from, but he just wants to help. So they kind of decide to keep an eye on him because there's obviously something very fishy about this guy. So they let him tag along to stop a bank robbery from a mammoth, debutante, a crash test dummy, and a teleportation machine that they pour money into. Yes.
Once there was this villain who
looked an awful lot like a safety belt commercial.
So your choice. It's one of those types of crash test dummies.
Yep. So it seems like everything is on the up and up with Wonder Star when he suddenly starts just eye lasering all over the place. The spear from before teleports in and pegs Superman in the back, and Wonder Star turns into Magog.
I actually know this guy.
Yeah.
Magog.
You made me read the book with him.
Yes, I made you read Kingdom Come. Magog is a big... He was an alternate future villain from a very classic piece of DC Comics graphic novelature. That's a word, right?
Sure, we'll make it one.
Yeah, so Magog is this big, like, biblical... He's sort of 90s incarnate. He is everything that everyone hated about superheroes that were created in the 90s.
He
turned into one
murder,
guy.
Death kills all the bad guys.
He kills all the bad guys. He's got a big metal arm, a flashy glowing eye. Now he's got, streaks in his hair for no good reason.
Now he's got the express model action going too. Yeah,
Extremely hateable. He's got a big old gun. He's got like a magic spear and armor, and he's got this unnecessary like Glock 9 like stuffed into the front of his pants.
So he has a spear and magic helmet?
Spear and magic helmet.
Oh, he can kill the wabbit.
He can kill the wabbit. Yep. So I'm sure that surprised a lot of people.
I know it surprised me.
I wasn't expecting
I don't even have that
yeah.
much of a background with the guy. I was just like, holy crap. I know he got into a fight with Captain Atom once, because I read that issue, and then they accidentally detonated Captain Atom, I guess.
Yeah, that was was Kingdom Come, wasn't it?
Was it Kingdom Come?
Or was it, they did a whole thing where they tried to make
It was Generation Lost, I think, was where I read that one.
Okay, because I know there was a period of time where they tried to make Kingdom Come the actual future of the DC universe.
Oh, really?
And like the Kingdom Come Superman traveled back in time and joined the Justice Society, and there was a guy named, he was just some guy, like they're like, we're adding on all these random Justice Society members. It's like, characters that, we're going to add them to the team, but we're not going to actually bother to give them the time to, evolve their characters at all.
Was Neil on the team?
Neil was not on the team, but like Cyclone joined and a bunch of other also rans that I can't even remember. Citizen Steel, after he got his legs chopped off, as always happened in a Teen Titans or Justice Society book back in the day. Someone lost some limbs and then they joined the team as a superhero. And then there's this guy Lance Corporal, Jim Roosevelt or something.
Well, that would be like the first guy I would expect to die, and then
yeah, exactly. He's like, I don't want a superhero name. I've just got this magic claw thing, and then he
I'm
eventually
retire in 2 days.
Yeah, and then he was supposed to be like the grandson of Teddy Roosevelt or something. And then he turned into Magog. And it's like, what? Okay. Where did that come from? Okay. Sorry, spoilers for an old Justice Society story that wasn't that good.
No, I have to laugh because I know you always throw that out there that the limbs just flew all over the place. There's a subreddit on there that's called Comics Arms Race, where they're trying to keep up with all of the different publishers as they're losing limbs, and it's very funny.
Well done, Reddit.
Well, you guys stopped doing your limb count.
Yes, we did.
We just gave up.
we fell behind, and it was just too hard to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Something easy for me to jump forward with. What'd you think of this issue in comparison to the first one that Tomasi did?
Big jump up. Yeah, I'm interested in what's going forward. It is another, it's like, oh, look, here's a character you recognize. Well, I'm familiar with this. I'll follow along and be excited.
Well, not only that, but the playful banner between Wonder Woman and
good
Superman.
God, yeah.
So much better because he's all like, I'm here to save the day, and flies off.
And Wonder Woman's just rolling her eyes. Like, okay.
Superman's like, don't say it. What? I wasn't going to say anything.
I had a friend back in the day I used to work with, and she got all mad because her new boyfriend was too nice to people when they'd go on dates. Like, we went to the zoo, and he kept telling me to move out of the way so kids could see these animals. I'm just like, that's kind of a nice thing to do. Why are you mad at him?
Too funny. So moving on, I have Deathstroke number 3. I know you were waiting for this one, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
I know you were waiting for it. He is in the process of remembering a mission that was so important that he forgot it. It actually was wiped from his memory. That was part of the job. And this gentleman by the name of Red Fury, who is a guy in a basically black velvet mask with a big red F on his face, is...
Way to build that rogues gallery there, Deathstroke.
He is the one that hired him to do this job and has unlocked the abilities for Deathstroke to remember it.
If only he painted an Elvis on there, it'd be so much classier.
It would have been a lot better with a Velvet Elvis on there. Maybe that's the big twist that we're going to get. It's not a Velvet F, but an E. It'll be Velvet Elvis.
And that the bottom part of the F is really his mouth.
Yep. It'll all come together. It could still happen. But this memory that he is having is of this mission where he was going after Odysseus, a gentleman that was running a clan of ninjas, for lack of a better term, a bunch of guys with swords that were attacking him. And when he goes in to kill this guy on this old mission, he ends up finding his son, Jericho, all chained up in there, and he ends up releasing him. And they go to confront Odysseus together, who turns out to be, shock of all shocks, Deathstroke's dad? No. Okay, you can't do that all episode.
Okay.
But it's Deathstroke's father who is the actual Odysseus, and they end up arguing, and Odysseus says, well, you can't do anything about it, and Deathstroke says, I bet you I can, and puts 2 in his chest and 1 through the eye with his gun. So, yeah, I killed him. Go team. Present day, though, of course, Jericho left after that. He just kind of wandered off on his own. In the present day, we come back to it. Deathstroke has been de-aged, turned into a younger version of himself, and he's trying to find out where he can go because
called the Manu Bennett disease.
Yes, the Manu Bennett disease. He is trying to find some sort of ally or something because it seems like everyone's turned against him. So he goes to one of his safe houses that he has out in the middle of the wilderness, and as he approaches it, he is attacked by Bronze Tiger, who does not recognize him whatsoever. It's just like, get out of here, little kid. Shoo, shoo. And they start fighting. But because Bronze Tiger underestimates this, Deathstroke basically in the form of a younger version of himself, Deathstroke is able to take him down pretty easily. But before he can kill him, Red Fury comes out and goes, no, don't kill him. I'm the one that called him here. He's actually on our side, as you'll see later on. It's basically, it comes down to we're assembling the team, and right now it's going to be Deathstroke, Red Fury, and Bronze Tiger, as they're going to go try to find out why Odysseus came back to life. Well, we know why, because that's where Deathstroke got his powers of regeneration from. I guess that's the origin of them, and they were transferred to him somehow, but the only person that can kill Odysseus is Jericho, so they're going to have to find him as well. It's a
shame Ulysses isn't involved in this as well.
Yeah, well, that would have just been weird.
Yeah.
There is one little scene, it ends though in Gotham City, where Amanda Waller calls Harley Quinn and says, hey, we found out where Deathstroke is, and Harley just goes, ooh, he screwed us over in Russia, I remember that, not but like a couple weeks ago, you guys remember that too, right? In Suicide Squad where they went to Russia, and he screwed him over, and she's like, I'm gonna go get my revenge. So, see, we got a little bit of a tidiness there. I kinda like that link up.
Yeah,
where you can see it.
It makes it feel like a bigger world.
Yeah, it does.
Like when the Fantastic Four would occasionally say, "Man, that Spider-Man guy's doing something stupid over there, a couple blocks away, isn't he?"
And it's him just like dangling back and forth between buildings. Like, what is he doing here? But yeah, that was Deathstroke number 3. Art's still really good. It's a interesting read. As I said, it's the action stuff, but they seem to be taking a bit more of a mystery twist to it as well. So if that's your bag, then give it a shot.
All right.
Oh, next one. I was so jealous. I was so jealous of you getting this issue.
You really were, huh? Okay. So Infinity Man and the Forever People number 6.
How could you not know why I would be jealous of this
I
one?
know. I know exactly why. So the Forever People, they encountered Guy Gardner and a bunch of Green Lanterns, and so they joined together to form the Infinity Man, and they take out Guy Gardner by explaining his feelings to him, like they're in an episode of Once Upon a Time. So then Badge, Robot Lantern, and Ba'ox go literal full Voltron by becoming a ring construct mecha Darkseid.
And
right
I'll
up with
form the head.
Yes, Badge, the Squirrel Lantern, literally forms the head. So Infinity Man grows to a giant size, and they have a literal Power Rangers battle and knock over a few buildings. Somewhere in the calamity, King Faraday, of all people, gets knocked out saving a lady, so Infinity Man shows up and Deus Ex Machinas him some superpowers, so he can have them in Future's End, I guess. Oh. So then meanwhile, at Sundollar Coffee, the artwork changes and things get a little more serious, aside from Badge being in a floating overcoat to hide his identity.
Yes, he's just wearing a hat and an overcoat with no legs.
I just got floating around like the guy in BoJack Horseman. As the gang all talks about how weird it is when they turn into Infinity Man. Also the fact that Infinity Man wants them to go to New Genesis and kill Highfather.
Well, this is like those weird little buddy bots from Clarion. You're just like, oh, it's cool. We have Infinity Man on our side. Wait, you want us to do what?
Yeah. Yep.
But tell me this was not fun.
It was it was silly. It was outright silliness. It was like 20 pages of silliness and then 3 pages of like ultra dire serious New Gods action.
But I love how Ba'ox has like his little costume that he was wearing for Christmas. He had a little ribbon across there. I just picture all of the people on his planet have ceremonial
sashes with ribbons on the back end.
Yeah, like for Christmas. Like, let us don our ceremonial garb, and it's all like Christmas wrapping paper.
And so it would be kind of like an ugly sweater an ugly sweater party, except the ugly wrapping paper.
Kind of. It's like a masquerade ball for the people of Ba'ox, where they just wrap themselves up and you dance the night away.
Let's lock this in for next Christmas's DC winter special right now.
See, this is where my mind goes when I'm reading these books.
Yes.
Where I'm like, Ba'ox, his planet would be pretty cool around Christmas.
Yep.
But what if Santa accidentally picks up the people of Ba'ox and puts them on?
There you go. There's the issue right there.
Yep.
Santa raids the home planet of Ba'ox so he can deliver his people across the world. Or the evil Amazon comes to Ba'ox sector.
Oh, man. If the Flophouse guys can write a Flash Gordon comic, we can write a Ba'ox Christmas special. All right. Red Lanterns 37, moving on to my Godhead tie-in.
It was the last issue of Charles Soule writing Red Lanterns.
Oh, man. Is it the last issue of Red Lanterns? Or just
No, just the last issue of him writing it.
That's unfortunate.
There's like 2 or 3 fillers before it ends in March.
Okay. Sadness.
Quite.
So, Guy Gardner and Simon, it really kind of ended a few issues ago. He's just doing Godhead for fun.
Well, some of it has.
Yeah.
I mean, this one has like a nice callback to all the stuff that's happened prior to.
And unfortunately, I'm going to be glossing over it entirely. So, Guy Gardner and Simon Baz, they're trapped in a miracle box. They were trapped there by Malhedron, and Guy rages his way out of it with Simon providing the shield. They barely make it out alive because Malhedron himself shut off the Kirby Crackle fire that was surrounding the box. He helps point them in the direction of Hayalt, the tinkerer of the New Gods, who is messing around with all the rings, gluing them onto
sticks, making magic sticks.
No, toilet paper tubes. If it's really an arts and crafts project, they're just using paper towel tubes and stuff.
You couldn't see it, but right behind him was the macaroni destruction device that he had put together. His pin art
and
thing.
his stitched leather wallet.
Yeah.
So they need a blue ring if they're going to win. I'm sure you do.
Yes.
They hope they're going to win this one. So, Guy tries to get Simon to go after the other lanterns that Malhedron saved, but he's sick of Guy constantly trying to commit suicide, as he's done like 3 times in this issue already. So he helps him go after Hayalt. They get the rings and literally football bomb Hayat by make some football rings. I'm going to fill them up with my rage blood and then drop them like bombs on this guy. That's what they do. So Guy takes the second red ring, a violet ring flies off by itself. Maybe that's the one that goes to Jon Stewart, even though that doesn't make any sense.
Nope, that picks up in my issues.
Okay. And Simon takes the rest to go finish their Godhead plans. And elsewhere, the new Guardians have a plan for Saint Walker, Jon Stewart, Kyle, and Carol. And that probably leads directly into your thing.
Yes, actually. Mine is Sinestro number 8. You didn't like the part where he was all like, I just have to get angry, and Simon's like, no, man, anger doesn't solve anything. He's like, dude, I'm a Red Lantern.
That's literally,
That's how I solve my
Yes,
problem.
and there were callbacks to all of his old buddies that were in the Corps that had died.
Where he was remembering everyone that he's lost along the way. It was a nice little...
I said, I want to get these 26 issues done in record time.
Okay, sorry. So, he's our gatekeeper.
Yes.
Blame him, everyone, if we go too fast on stuff. So, Sinestro number 8... picks up pretty much right from there, where Sinestro gets the jump on a New Genesis guard and basically beats him up 6 parallax on him while he tries to analyze one of the mother boxes. And as he's analyzing it, he figures out, so it's kind of like our power battery structure. I mean, there's a central battery thing that these things all connect to. There's a nervous system that connects the mother boxes back to the main source power, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. So I can work with this. I got something I can do. So he basically calls Parallax back in this great scene where Parallax is like hesitant because it's eating this New Genesis guard. And basically Sinestro's just like, do we have to go over who's in control here again? And then Parallax just kind of, okay, fine, and slinks along.
I do like Parallax as his pet. That's kind of amusing.
Yes, it actually really is. And then he basically flies up into low orbit and gloats for about 10 pages about how, well, these guys seem like they have a lot of order. They're doing exactly what I would do. We could have been best friends, but the first time they showed up, they insulted me, and, well, being Sinestro, I now have to annihilate their entire race. Too bad. We could have worked together. We could have been really good. It would have been best for the universe. So as he's up there basically gloating, that sapphire ring flies by and he follows it back to, all of the others. Saint Walker, Kyle, Carol. It's Carol's ring that flies back to her. And then it's okay, cool. We're all here now. What's the big plan? That's what Jon Stewart's saying and everything like that. And Sinestro is basically just going, yeah, you guys do whatever you want. I'm going to go save the universe by killing everyone. Have fun. Just remember, when you guys are back on Earth having a picnic or whatever you Green Lantern folks do, just remember you're going to have to thank me, Mr. Sinestro, for saving your stupid planet. And that's when he flies off. He basically marches right into Highfather's throne room, just like, don't. Hello, Highfather. I'm here as your equal to demand your surrender. And Highfather just starts laughing. He's like, did they send their jester, or was he just not, does he have a concussion? What is up with this guy? And Sinestro insults him and goads him and basically just taunts him into attacking him while he gets Despotellis, the little disease guy, off to where he needs him. Finally, Despotellis checks in and goes, okay, I infiltrated the circuitry within the nervous system of the mother box, and I have adjusted the settings that you wanted me to adjust. And Sinestro goes, good job, as he's getting his butt kicked by Highfather. Okay, get out of there, and once you're out of there, let me know. And Despotellis tells us, there are too many safeguards. This was a one-way trip for Despotellis. It was great following you, Sinestro, for the Sinestro Corps. Yeah! And Despotellis, no more.
Oh, my favorite
I know,
Yellow
he
Lantern.
was one of the best ones. It was such a great concept for a Fear Lantern.
Yeah.
Oh, so great. But no, we lost him this time around. And, while Sinestro's on the ground bleeding out, Highfather is just like, you know what, I'm sick of all these people. Open up the boom tube. We're going to Earth right now, and we're gonna just conquer it and all of their heroes so that when Darkseid shows up, we can just sick everybody on him at once. And as they open up the boom tube, Sinestro takes off and flies through it, but the boom tube isn't going to Earth no more. That's what Despotellis changed within the system. And that ends the Sinestro part, which then leads us into the Green Lantern Annual, which is the finale of Godhead, where, holy crap, does stuff just go insane in this done. We'll come back to Sinestro, because Hal and Black Hand, or Black Ham as I have been calling him, are at the Source Wall fighting off Orion and a bunch of the New Genesis guards that are out there. And it's basically the entire time Hal yelling at Black Hand to stop messing around with the Source Wall because he's just looking at it as a huge mass grave. And he's like, it's so massive. I love it. It's great. And, Orion's basically gloating the whole time. You know, we're just going to kick your butt. We've done it like 12 times in this series already. And that's when Black Hand puts his hands on the wall, leading Hal to literally state, you idiot, don't touch the wall. Why would you do the one thing I told you not to do? And, instead of being absorbed into the wall, as we know the Source Wall does, it turns you into stone and you get fused to it. In this case, Black Hand resurrects every single creature, monster, titan, giant, demigod that has ever been stuck onto the wall into the Black Lantern Corps, into a 4-page gate fold out of him just yelling rise as the entire Source Wall comes to life under his control. Orion, most obviously, reacts with an oh shit.
Yep.
Which is a proper reaction to this thing going on. That is when the boom tube opens up, Sinestro sticks his head out and goes, hey guys, you coming? I open up the tube, let's do it, and everyone, including all of the monsters of the Black Hand's army, go shuffling through the portal into New Genesis, where they start raffle stomping all over New Genesis. Just knocking over buildings, punching things out. Black Hand is just giddy. He absolutely loves this. He's yelling at his monsters to beat down Orion because he wants a corpse on a scooter because he thinks it would be the best thing in his collection ever. But then something strange happens. Black Hand starts losing control of all of them because instead of being resurrected corpses, they all start coming back to life. Like full on they're alive. And that's when Highfather's yelling at them, "You idiots! You don't actually die when you touch the source wall. You're stuck in a state in between death and life. You've just resurrected every single thing that has been stuck to the source wall. Ah, you morons." Of course, he wants to do the whole magic stick thing and turn all these titans and Promethean giants and all these things into part of his army. Kyle is informed by the Guardians that he is in control of the life equation. Highfather is borrowing it, but he doesn't actually have it. So that is part of their plan. Unfortunately, this life equation is going to kill him as well. That's why they're kind of keeping it on the hush-hush. Maybe Highfather will just shuffle it off and burn it off or something. But he ends up going into a mental battle with Highfather, Kyle and Highfather, on how to control the life equation. And basically it is Kyle tells him he's becoming just like Darkseid. I mean, if we want to cut it down to the easiest, shortest method, you said you wanted to fight Darkseid. You've become a totalitarian dictator yourself. And Highfather goes, "Oh my goodness, you're right. How did I not see that?"
Only 15 other people have told me this before.
And finally releases the White Lantern power back to Kyle, who uses it to banish all of the monsters and titans off of New Genesis. Unfortunately, too much damage has been done, and the floating city of New Genesis is going to crash into the earth and kill everyone
And then apparently LeBron James turns into a Yellow Lantern.
No, that is not LeBron.
That's exactly what this page is,
that
Sean.
That is an NBA ad in between the pages there. Just because his jersey is yellow does not make him a Sinestro Corps member.
Okay.
Just wanted to check, you know?
Everything is saved because the greatest lantern of all, Saint Walker, comes and supercharges up Hal's ring so that he can catch the city and
because
gently
again,
set
he
it
can't
down.
do anything on his own. He has to have someone else do it for him.
No, that's how good
I
he
hope
is.
there's a Green Lantern nearby so that I can feel useful.
Ooh. Because they are set down, though, Highfather kind of comes up to all the lanterns and goes, my bad? We cool? In which they do agree to. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing a little bit there. There is a great Guy Gardner phrase right as they're all flying away where, basically this whole big argument has ended. Highfather's admitted he's incorrect. No, I must lead my people into the light. I have led them down a dark path. Hopefully we can be allies in the future. In which Guy Gardner responds with, "Does anyone think the guy to girl ratio here is a little off?" Where Hal's just like, "You're the worst diplomat ever." They do return to Mogo, put the ring back on, and Mogo comes back to life. Go Planter and powers. Hal does talk to Kyle. "Hey, you're alive, buddy, and you're apparently hooking up with my ex-girlfriend." But he seems rather cool with it, at least in his conversation with Kyle. I guess next week we're going to deal with the actual conversation between him and Carol. Probably not as friendly, since those two squabble even when they are in a relationship together. And we end the entire thing back at the source wall, where it's completely bare. There are no more people stuck to it. But then a crack forms, and then another, and then a giant hand busts through the source wall, which I'm sure just means someone's coming to deliver ice cream.
Yes.
And it's not going to be a problem moving forward ever, ever, ever.
Right.
Right. It was fun, dude. It was so bombastic and just explosive for the annual itself. I mean, a lot of it was the build up to it.
There's just too many books for me to dig into it.
I know. I understand. And as we know, in March, it's the last issues for all the Lantern books except for Sinestro and Green Lantern are being collapsed. I'm assuming we're going to probably see a Green Lantern weekly moving forward.
That would have been my first guess from the get-go.
Yeah, where they just
when
say
we saw
instead
how
of
good
having all
the regular weekly books, I'm like, well, Green Lantern's basically a weekly anyway.
It's been built as a weekly pretty much. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they didn't take that route unless they wanted people to be. I mean, they did have different tones in each one of the books for a while there, so I understand what they were going for. But you can just have different threads have different tones within the weekly as well. So who knows? Maybe they just wanted to see if the other ones would actually sell before they tried it. Whatevs.
Who knows?
It used to be one of their big marquee properties, right? Mm-hmm. Like the whole Green Lantern stuff and Green Lantern Corps and...
I mean, it's been supporting how many books in the New 52?
Yeah. Yeah, so
I mean,
it can hold its own.
And there's enough characters, like I said, if you want to Game of Thrones it like Future's End, go for it. You've got enough characters to do it.
Okay, so if they make a weekly book, are they going to consolidate some of these other books?
Well, that's just
they're
it. They've
canceling
already
everything
canceled
except for
New
Green
Guardians,
Lantern.
Red Lanterns, and Corps. So now the only books left are Green Lantern and Sinestro. So we're assuming those would be the two outside the weekly, and then a weekly would cover everything in between.
Oh, okay.
We would assume.
Yeah,
we could be wrong. I mean,
have they even
more than likely we are. So.
have they released the stuff after Convergence
not
yet?
Not
Okay.
yet. So, all right, moving on. What you got?
All right, Flash 37. So we've got two time streams we're dealing with here. We've got stuck in the Speed Force. The Flash is stuck in the Speed Force. He's on a time island with a bunch of other time displaced people in a giant Ewok fort.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I can live with this.
And he's just like, hey, this is a little bit different from the last time I was trapped in the Speed Force. It's like, oh, it's probably that other island. Another one of those islands over there. Over there. Yeah, that's why it's different from the last time you were in the Speed Force. So they fend off some giant birds and mammoths, and the scarf guy he became friends with tells him, oh yeah, you can get out of here, but you've got to climb this mountain. That's all I got to do? I got to climb a mountain? He's like, but what's all the way over there?
Normally we would just say screw it, but I guess
I mean that's what we're all just hanging out here living this horrible existence in an Ewok fort.
Dude, they had Indians and cowboys riding dinosaurs, having 6-shooter battles while other people were wielding rail
lasers
guns
and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, come on, I would hang out there for at least a little while too.
Yeah, and he does say that Terror Bird is pretty sweet. So.
Yeah, quite tasty.
Yeah, very tasty. Yeah, so meanwhile, in our time, Iris West finds a bunch of dead bodies, the city hidden freezer trucks from the secret society takeover, and smears it all over the news.
It does make sense, since if you remember during the whole Forever Evil timeline, Central City was basically a bunch of people on pikes.
Yeah.
And where did those people go? Oh, the back of trucks.
Yes. So now the police department has to process them all. Future Flash takes the case. Hetty deals with the autopsy of the guy that Future Flash killed last issue is all, a Speed Force murder. I thought Barry got rid of all the other Speed Force people. Oh well, I guess I'll go on a sexy time date with him. I'll ignore how out of character he's acting and the fact that someone just got Speed Force murdered. So meanwhile, a D-bag gets into a handsome cab and the gentlemanly, ghost-like character driving it does not care for his cell phone usage at all and explodes him.
Wait, what?
There's this jerk on a cell phone who's drunk, and he gets on a horse-drawn carriage.
Yeah, a hansom cab.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, what?
Don't know what a hansom cab is? Okay.
No, not at all.
And so this gentlemanly, ghost-like guy who's driving it explodes him. Because it's probably the new 52 Gentleman Ghost I don't think we've seen yet.
Yes, we have actually in Hawkman.
Oh,
Savage Hawkman.
So we didn't actually see him, is what you're saying. You're saying we didn't actually see him at all.
We saw him in Batman Eternal.
Oh, he
when
did show up?
Batwing was fighting him, and he was at the very beginning when that's what started the whole I don't do ghosts.
I see.
No, it's the guy. I'm assuming they're gonna call him like guy you want to go to the movies with, because he'll destroy anyone who plays with their cell phone in the movie theater.
And how?
And annihilate them.
How about people who talk behind you the whole movie?
I don't think they have a guy for that.
They should.
Yeah, I don't think they have a guy for that.
We should have brought him. If they did, he should have came to the movies with us yesterday.
I think so too. But
because
all I know
it was
is
bad.
Anytime we go to the movies,
Aztecs, Indians, I don't know who else, cannibals on dinosaurs fighting against cowboys and World War I aces.
Yes,
World War Ones with laser guns.
Yeah.
I'm at least going to give it a second glance.
It was a well done issue. I'm not complaining about it.
You just seemed like you were kind of like, yeah, there's mountains and
islands. He doesn't have time. He doesn't have time to care.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to goof on it before I get serious about it.
So moving on. Weekly number 1 for this week. World's End number 12. Darkseid has reclaimed the throne of Apocalypse, aka now the moon of Earth, because it destroyed our moon and has taken its orbit. Yay! And he has basically put Barda in charge as his chief general. Basically, Barda has Steppenwolf sold a job after she betrayed everyone, all the Earth people. Meanwhile, the newest Fury Huntress down underneath Earth is fighting off against Power Girl and Val Zod and another Superman that they found that maybe this one's the real one. We don't know. Red Tornado that's actually Lois Lane, and Batman, in this case, Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father.
Wait a minute. Okay, if they destroyed the moon, isn't that destroying, the Earth too?
Yes, actually, we're going to get there here in just a moment.
Okay.
Basically, they're all fighting until Huntress is called to join the other Furies, and she flies off. And as the other ones recover from the fight against Fury Huntress, which I guess is just so scary with her creepy wings, I guess that's what she brings to the fight.
Oh.
But she can take down everyone else. But so as they're recovering, Desaad steps out from the shadow, goes, "Mwahaha, now I'm going to turn you all into the army of Apocalypse as well." Let's see. Meanwhile, Mr. Miracle is lamenting the fact that he freed Darkseid. Whoopsie, my bad. I was trying to kill him, wasn't trying to free him. And Fury states they must seek retribution alongside the other humans. But the humans themselves are having a couple problems, even there on Apocalypse, because Commander Khan, the guy that's in charge of the World Army, notices that Mr. Horrific has put bombs all over the spaceship.
Did he put them in footballs first?
No, he didn't actually. He just has quite literally just the panels, every single control panel. If you lift it up, there's a bomb with a counter on it. Didn't do too much to hide it. I mean, the guy's a genius. You think he would kind of bury it down in there? No. Like, you just accidentally drop the remote and you see the bomb when the back cover falls off.
Yep.
So they get into a fist fight because he came back and was planning to kill them all. Ha 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 ha. And Commander Khan ends up punching him out of the back of the ship and decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to take care of this myself. Speaking of punch-outs, though, Dick Grayson is in Chicago beating up that thug that killed Barbara Gordon, the guy that shot Barbara Gordon off the train. And as he's clubbing him like a baby seal, he ends up murdering him. Straight up just beating him to death with a steel pipe. Yay, Dick Grayson birth too! And he's... No.
No?
No.
You said yay.
No.
I thought, okay.
No. As he is he wants to give up. Basically, he has nothing to live for, but then he remembers he gave his kid to Constantine. He goes, maybe that's not a good thing for me to leave him there, so maybe I'll do something
people
about
giving
that.
Constantine.
Yeah.
My kid.
Meanwhile, a tidal wave, due to the moon being destroyed, is about to hit Chicago. See, we're starting to get there. There are other problems because fragments of the moon are still raining down. There's everything's falling apart topside because of the lack of moon. And Sergeant, General, Lieutenant, I can't remember what she is, Sato, one of the World Army members, says, "Hey, everybody, remember Project Beyond, the giant spaceship that was going to fly everyone to safety and then evil Superman tore it apart and killed everyone? If we get everyone underground to the hangar where that was, we should be able to protect them." So they start funneling all the survivors down underground, and they send Flash ahead in the tunnels, and he finds a whole bunch of parademons up ahead and goes, "Oh no, what shall I do?" And last part of this issue is the Avatar of Earth is fighting off against the Furies, and they were winning until Huntress shows up with the creepy wings, and I guess now they can't win, even though they have a Lovecraftian god on their side, and they go, "Oh no, she's got creepy wings. We should just give up now."
Yeah.
So that was World's End 12. Now for World's End 13, because we're doing 2 weeks worth of weeklies here. The actual parliament of all of these avatars is going, "Hey, Red, where the hell's your guy at?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I called and they didn't show
Bring
up."
forth the atomic dog.
So he's just going, "I don't know, I guess they're not coming." Oh. But we find out the power of Creepy Wings is that she is the fury of famine, the 4 horsemen of a famine, but not famine of the body, famine of the soul, where it drains everything you want to live for. That's her creepy wing powers, and she actually grabs...
She had wing powers. I thought she'd at least make a birdhouse in your soul.
No soul birds in this one.
Oh.
No soul birds to save you. So basically, Huntress grabs Alan Scott's ex-fiance, who is the Avatar of the White and is going to consume his soul. And Alan Scott goes, no, give him to me. And while he's protecting her, the Furies go raffle stomping throughout the rest of the earth, destroying everything. Meanwhile, Jimmy Olsen, now with the powers of a mother box spawn inside him. Sure.
Yeah.
Hot Girl, Flash, and Citizen Steel with both legs. They put him back together again.
Well, when he got coated with liquid metal, he got his legs back.
They are down there clearing out the tunnels and are able to do so that all of the survivors of Earth can get down to the hangar, and they decide that is where humanity will make its last stand on Earth 2. In Chicago, Ted Grant knocks out Dick Grayson because he's throwing a pity party, slings him over his shoulder, and full-on awesome guys it as he outruns a tsunami to get Dick Grayson to safety. That's how awesome Wildcat is. He can outrun a tsunami.
Hey.
Meanwhile, one Wildcat just isn't enough, Brian, because we find out who the Avatar of the Red is, a Yolanda Montez.
Okay.
Who was Wildcat 2?
As well, yes.
Yes.
Wildcat TOO.
TOO. Who has been corrupted by Desaad and is the Avatar of the Red. She has, like, actual animal powers, kind of. So.
She turns into an actual Wildcat lady?
Yeah, kind of. Or bison or stuff like that. So she attacks all of them down there with Valzad and Power Girl, etc.
Was that the animal girl we saw in the Future's End issue?
It might be. I don't know.
I wonder.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Meanwhile, Commander Khan, after he punches out Mr. Horrific out of the ship, gets everyone else out to safety and decides he's going to use the spaceship full of bombs to kamikaze Darkseid, and is just flying right at the main tower, like, here I come, Darkseid! Woo-hoo! Yippee-ki-yay!
Randy Quaid!
Yep. I'm assuming that's his plan. He just watched Independence Day 2. It's right in his mind. He feels that today is his Independence Day, and he's going to do something about it. It does end all of our World's Endy stuff for this week down in the Project Beyond hangar, where they realize it's not big enough to store all of the people, all of the survivors of Earth, so they need to make more space. So they wake up Atom, Al Pratt, from his coma after getting his arm ripped off by evil Superman and bludgeoned to near death with his own arm.
Okay.
They wake him up and say, we need you to do one last mission. He agrees. He shrinks down as small as he can. They drop him down a pipe in the floor, and he grows to the size of 10 cities before it all collapses down on top of him, killing the Atom, but opening up enough space to keep all of the survivors taken care of.
Okay.
Poor Atom, man. He had a rough go of it.
Seriously.
I mean, man, he started off so promising, and then he just got pimp slapped by evil Superman, and then they're just like, yeah, sorry, man, it's World's End time. We didn't have much time to do anything with you, so they do call it Atom's Refuge. That's the name of the new city they're going to build underground. So maybe the Atom will be their Jesus figure for all the Earth 2 people that end up coming to Prime Earth.
Maybe.
It'd be a much cooler cross with a little atom symbol around it.
All right. So
I'm sorry, I went too far.
Moving on to my weekly, New 52 Futures End, number 34.
We're doing it. We're coming in under an hour. We can do this.
Yeah. So at Columbia University, the new Firestorm fights Dr. Polaris, and she has no clue what she's doing. She turns a cement mixer that gets thrown at them into a gigantic teddy bear and still gets squished by it.
Firestorm, destroyer of carny economies everywhere.
Yep. Hopefully it won't hit former Red Robin Tim Drake, who, as we all know, is living under the name Chauncey Cheddarwood.
Negative.
So, at Shade headquarters, as Stormwatch continues to fight giant monsters, the Atom and his Shrink Ray.
Well, wasn't it like a
reduction array yielder or something?
Something like that, but just so he could call it a shrink ray.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Dr. Doofenshmirtz's Boat.
Yes, his Boat, yes. The buoyancy operated, I can't
Aquatic.
Aquatic
Aquatic transporter,
yeah, the Boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Adam manages to get the weird octopus alien off of Father Time's brain and pulls it out of its old degenerating body. And then a random Shade agent shoots Frankenstein in the back. No.
Well, he'll be fine. He's Frankenstein, right?
So, meanwhile, in Vegas, Voodoo, Mercy, Banger, and MASH are just hanging around, wondering why their stories changed like 15 times without them doing anything. Now they're going to go look for the Cadmus DNA vault. And they're even just sitting around talking. It's like, it's weird. It seems like we were introduced with a plan and then other things got in the way. I don't know.
I just love the fact that, like, every time we're told to do something else happens, and then we have to get told to do something else before we can do the thing we were supposed to do.
So Judah Freelander guy just sort of sidles up to the table and lets Voodoo know that Cole Cash is still alive. And then meanwhile, 50 Sue, a.k.a. Sequel, makes Ethan Boyer's hand disappear and he passes out because he's been complaining about his hand never? Do you recall any of that? They were talking like that's the only thing he does, and I've seen him in like 3 issues of the series.
Yeah,
so
I didn't really.
Don't quite get what that was all about.
I think it was just Sequel being mean.
Yeah, it's just her being mean, and then Lana Lang freaks out. That'll come into play later.
In the best storyline of the week.
Yeah. In New York, Batman Beyond's Alfred AI finds Brother Eye reactivated at Terrifitech, but shuts down when he realizes that current Batman, or Batman right here, he's not Beyond.
Sure.
he is because he is listening in. And 35 years from now, Brother Eye sends the Batman Joker hybrid monster back in time, and he appears right in front of Plastique.
The Man-E Faces.
Yes, the Man-E Faces Batman Joker. So, moving on to the New 52 Futures End number 35. We're almost there.
Is it ending finally?
Well,
No.
First half of the show.
First half of the show's ending, yeah.
Oh.
So, Columbia University, Firestorm still battling Dr. Polaris and doing a bad job of it. So, former Red Robin Tim Drake, who as we all know is currently living under the name Spebbington Strangeways,
you can't have two in the same week.
decides to join in and hit Dr. Polaris with his only weakness, a piece of aluminum piping. Firestorm goes nanners and explodes Dr. Polaris' armor, and nothing is inside. She saves the unconscious Spebbington, gives him a kiss, and leaves Jason Rush totally weirded out by the whole situation. Back at Shade, Frankenstein is trying to be alive again thanks to the nth metal in his bloodstream, so that's killing him.
Matt,
Because
we
he's
called that one.
Yeah, he's becoming mortal. So while Ray Palmer tries to put Shade and Stormwatch back together, Amethyst takes Frankenstein back to Earth to try to save him with magic.
Yay! Amethyst Frankenstein team-ups!
Yep. And also Black Adam is free as well since he helped them get away from Brainiac, and that was sort of the deal.
Fair enough.
So he may come into play elsewhere.
No, I'm sure he just goes take a nap.
Yeah. In Nevada, Earth 2 Lana Lang risks her life by slapping 50 Sue and laying down some tough mom love and forcing her to stop killing people and behave like a nice young lady. And more hugging. More hugging.
I liked that scene.
Yes, it was great.
I really liked that scene because it was just her like, hey, if you want to kill me, you can kill me. I'm done. I'm so far beyond my limit as Lana Lang, electrical engineer extraordinaire.
Hey, Earth 2 Lana Lang. We don't know if she's an electrical engineer.
Fair enough.
She just wears a lab coat, so we know she knows science, but that's it.
Science knowledge-y Lana Lang has reached her limit, so it's time for me to lay down the law. You want me to be your mom? Fetch the switch.
So in New York City, the Brother Eye Joker Bat confronts Plastique, and she's eating a Zagnut bar. I haven't seen those in ages. So Plastique's just like, okay, sure. So she charges up her Zagnut bar, gives it to him, and it explodes, and she just goes whoop, 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 tries to run away from him. Joker Bat gives chase and Batman Beyond, and Batman right here attack. And Batman right here gets a little weirded out when the Batman head spins around to face him and becomes Bat Joker. It's like, what's going on? This is weird and creepy and
how many
nightmare-inducing.
weird Batmans are going to show up this week?
They need to make toys.
Yeah.
That's why.
So Beyond saves Plastique, and they have a very in-the-moment kiss because, come on, Plastique is a total raver chick, and we know that in the Batman Beyond future there is only raves.
That's it.
It's been established.
Yep. I saw the opening credits.
Yep.
I know what the future's like.
So Joker Bat gets control over Batman right here, and Bat Joker says they need to kill him, and Joker Bat laughs that off because if he doesn't, they won't exist anymore. I see what you're trying to do there. I see what you're trying to do. Ha 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 ha. I'm the Joker. I'm not that stupid. So they go off, and we've got.
Although he was just taken out by a Zagnut bar.
So yeah, so we've got a Joker Bat hybrid monster on the loose.
Yay! 5
From
years
the farther
future
future.
sounds so bright.
Yeah. Yep.
I as I said, I absolutely adore the Lana Lang. Now that we have the next week's issue, the cover is basically like the family photo of Grifter, Lana Lang of Earth 2, and sequel.
Really?
So yeah,
Nice.
it's exactly what I was hoping for with those characters, and I'm looking forward to. Even just that part alone has me going. Not to mention the Frankenstein and the Shade stuff, and there's quite a few threads that I'm still.
The biggest shame about this is all these characters are in that I want to see continue on are in the future.
Yeah, they're not going to. That's what sucks.
Yeah,
that's what really sucks about some of
like
them.
Plastique, you're a lot of fun. You're the most use anyone's ever gotten out of the Plastique archetype.
Yep. We'll see.
Yeah.
Plastique showed up in Firestorm.
Again, it didn't actually happen, Sean.
But that's it. That's going to wrap up the first half. 50 odd minutes. We did it. Let's see if we can do it a second time.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you got coming for round 2?
Batman Annual 3, Arkham Manor 3, Harley Quinn 13 you gave me. I forgot you gave me that. Secret Origins.
I forgot I gave you that too.
Secret Origins number 8, a special DCR podcast issue of Secret Origins. Gotham by Midnight number 2, Justice League Dark 37, and Star-Spangled War Stories featuring G.I. Zombie number 5.
And then I've got Batman Eternal number 38, Batman Eternal number 39, Robin Rises Alpha, Grayson Annual, Catwoman Annual. I'm actually pretty happy about that one too. Aquaman, and then I will wrap it up with the best Christmas issue ever with Red Hood and the Outlaws Annual as well. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, when we become Brack, we will go through those books. I didn't even have time to tell you I turned it on.
Here we go again.
I hate you this week. Hate you. We're starting off. We're starting off with Batman Eternal, number 38. I don't even care anymore. Batman did stuff. Things happen. Noise sound effect. Pew pew pew. Yeah, show's over. Way to go, everybody.
Woo!
We did it!
Batman Eternal number 38 is still detailing the adventures of Batman as his world falls apart around him. And in this case, he's going to capture the escapees from Arkham Asylum. In this case, Bane, Scarecrow, Clayface, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Joker's daughter, all the people that were hiding out in that Greek restaurant.
Yes.
Not but a week or two ago. Batman systematically starts picking off everyone upstairs while below ground in the sewers, Poison Ivy and Poison Ivy and Bane have teamed up, and they are going to make their way through to make a better battleground for when Batman inevitably shows up, but it is a double cross. Poison Ivy has led Bane down into the sewers so that he has to have a rematch against Killer Croc. Rematch time! There is a line where Bane is talking about how these stones are as dilapidated as Batman's spine when I broke it over my knee. There's this great line. I wish I had written it down on Reddit that now everyone sees Bane as like the high school star quarterback where he's just always talking about that one great play he had years ago. And they're just like, let it go, Bane. Let it go. Move on with your life.
Never.
Killer Croc, though, very unhappy with Bane. He reminds him, hey, remember last time I showed up and you were babbling about symbolism and clubbed me over the head with a giant steel bat symbol? I wasn't happy about that. So they're going to go toe-to-toe. Killer Croc is going off about how everyone thinks he's dumb. Everyone thinks he's stupid just because he lives in the sewers. He was a carny. He's not. He enjoys 17th century French literature. He quite literally tells him that. So I'm assuming that's on his Match.com profile right now.
Yes.
Where he's like, I have a great sense of humor. I'm a glass half full type of gentleman.
I collect dragons.
I'm a Renaissance man. I collect dragons. Yeah, that's the worst part. I absolutely love what they've done with Killer Croc, except for one situation that was just left out there with no one talking about it whatsoever.
Just like Hawkman and Firestorm. It
didn't happen. As they're fighting, he's yelling out about, he picks up Killer Croc, Bane does, and he's about to break him over his knee. And he's babbling on again about how every spine break over my knee sounds just a little different. He's a connoisseur of spine breaking. But Killer Croc snaps the venom line on his back with his jaws, of course. And Bane is just like, you know how many people have done this? It doesn't matter. The venom's already in my blood. And that's when Killer Croc says, yeah, but I was doing some reading and I'm curious if I just slash open each one of your arteries here with my claws, how long will the blood and the venom stay in your system? Let's find out. And he just starts dismembering.
Oh yeah,
Bane.
getting all book learning on you there, Bane.
Not quite the I threw a rock at him Killer Croc.
No.
It was a very big rock. A very big rock.
A dilapidated rock. Like Batman's spine.
Batman ends up chasing down into the sewers because that was the last place he had heard Bane was going. And he finds Bane all strung up, written in Bane's blood on the walls in French. The king is dead. Long live the king. Apparently, Killer Croc is now proclaiming himself now the king of Gotham, since Bane was making all that stuff. I just wanted people to point out to Bane all the time because he seemed so proud of all the symbolism he was doing. It's like, it's as dilapidated as Batman's spine. That's symbolism, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, Bane, that's a simile you use like her ass.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping at least for a metaphor.
I'm not the man now, dog.
Meanwhile, Commissioner Bard goes to see the last person who will actually talk to him because they're in prison and can't leave, and that's Commissioner Gordon, the ex-Commissioner Gordon. And he kind of spills the beans on how he screwed him over and how he wants to make Gotham a better place. He wants to turn over a new leaf, but the cops they won't play with me anymore. And Commissioner Gordon tells him, well, man up, do it by the book and do it right, and eventually people will come back to you, but you're going to have to do a lot of freaking work to get back there. The issue ends, though, with
and
Poison
pick up all
Ivy.
those beans that you spill.
The issue ends with Poison Ivy going to collect her pay for double-crossing Bane, because just as she said she would last issue, Catwoman arranged the whole thing and gives the money to Poison Ivy and then goes to bed, where the Pharaoh Croc, no longer King Croc, or Killer Croc, he's now a pharaoh.
Okay.
In the full garb, stands watch over her giant Egyptian-style club bed apartment thing.
Okay.
So Killer Croc is now also signed on with Catwoman, with her gang family thing that she's running over there, which is actually really interesting to me.
Yeah.
I kind of like where they're going with all that. Next
They
one,
still
though.
haven't gotten to that Egyptian club yet, have they?
What's that?
We haven't reached the spoiler issue yet, have we?
We haven't reached that issue yet,
Yeah,
but
so-
we've had the last couple issues have been set in that Osiris club. So it's obviously going there really, really
Which,
quick.
as we all know, is built next to the Anubis Market.
Of course. Batman Eternal number 39, Batman finally pins down where Riddler is hiding. Remember, Riddler keeps saying, I know who's behind it all. I did the legwork. I put together the string board. I bought all the string in Gotham. You can't do it.
Catwoman was very upset with me.
Oi. That was pretty bad. I'm literally going to throw that out the window. He ends up talking to Riddler up on top of this mountain, and there's a lot of doublespeak. But one of the things he keeps saying is that it is his Echo. I am Echo, as far as whenever he keeps asking who it is that's behind the whole thing. And he tells a little parable about the Echo and blah, 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 blah. There used to be a character called Echo, right? But that was Marvel.
In Daredevil, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
There was the guy with the Jesus stick on Lost.
Sure.
Which I guess is technically, in the Disney wheelhouse.
It's kind of like Daredevil. I mean,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, all of the Bat villains that were just captured in the last issue are taken to an underground warehouse. All the cops that are driving them back to prison are killed, and they are released into this giant warehouse full of all of the Bat toys from the Bat caches that were destroyed. Apparently someone was getting a lot of the gear out before they were blown up. And a mysterious voice comes over the speaker and says, hey guys, it's literally everyone that has shown up in all the Bat books. And they go, you guys can play with all these toys as long as you run free throughout Gotham and trash the place. And everyone's like, woo, party at Gotham tonight. Yeah, woo. Batman, meanwhile, is tired of all the... I did
not set off the air horn. You should be proud of me.
Thank you. Batman is tired of all the wordplay and mind games that Riddler is giving him, threatens to take him back to Gotham City, but Riddler goes, I don't think I'm gonna like that, and sets off a detonation that causes an avalanche down on top of them. And as we see on the cover of next week's issue, it's Batman trying to outrun an avalanche. If only Wildcat were there. If only. It would have been an easy thing. He can outrun any natural disaster.
Yep.
Meanwhile, back at the Gotham Gazette, Vicky Vale and her editor...
Vicky Vale?
I knew it. Are trying to piece together the whole story as far as what's going on in Gotham City. Traffic is at a standstill. The wireless connection keeps dropping throughout all of Gotham City. What is happening? Who is behind these nefarious crimes, Brian? But they're trying to figure out if it is one major attack against Gotham City. When intern Patrick, who, I mean, he has like a small little part that he's like walked in the background a couple times, walks in and shoots the editor and laments the fact that Vicky Vale is there because she wasn't supposed to be there when this happened.
Okay.
So, hopefully BuzzFeed Joey comes to the save today.
I'm telling you. Brian, the intern at Clark Metropolis, would never let any of that crap fly.
No, he is Johnny on the spot with those corn bagels, so... This, Patrick, whoever you are, dropping the ball. Something fierce. There are owls on the cover of this issue, though. So I'm starting to think we're getting a little bit of a zeroing in on which direction we're going as far as who's behind all this.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not very subtle. Big snowy owl on the cover, like, who do you think is behind this? Who do you think?
I'm not here for anything else. I'm just here to brood with Harry Potter.
Yes.
I'm going to go stand on a hillside and look wistfully at a castle. Nothing to see here. Hoo.
So moving on, you have Batman Annual here.
I do have. It's all about Thomas Blackcrow. Beloved character,
crap.
Thomas Blackcrow.
Dude, this issue.
Seriously. This is dark. Dark.
This is like the darkest timeline of one of the animated episodes.
Yeah, really. So it's all about Thomas Blackcrow, a writer who tracked the Joker for a story and told him to his face that he's a jerk that isn't scary and just doesn't have any friends. So... Which
you have to know right then and there, bad career move.
Yeah, poor
bad career move.
So the Joker made it his special mission to terrorize Thomas for the rest of his life whenever he got out of prison. And so basically, Thomas, you can be my friend. Ha ha ha. So yeah, after losing friends and girlfriends and wives to the Joker, he checked himself into Arkham. And now that they've moved to Arkham Manor, he has a new friend named Eric Border. That's a name you can trust. A name that has no secret double meanings whatsoever. This was a dark issue, man.
Yeah, it really was.
I'm glossing over it for the sake of time, but this was very well done.
Yep.
It's considered an endgame tie-in. It's completely inessential, but very, very good.
Yes. And that's really what it is. It's just so good that it's hard for me not to say, yeah, it's almost an essential read just so you can have fun with it as much as I did.
Yeah.
But, it immediately made me think of that episode of the animated series with the guy that cut off the Joker in traffic. And then, the Joker threatens to kill his family unless he comes and opens the door to the policeman's ball. Do you remember this one?
I vaguely recall that one.
It was the first episode of Harley Quinn.
Oh, really?
Where they end up pushing in the cake with the bomb in it, and he's stuck to the door, and Batman comes to save them all. But it was very similar, where just a chance happening across the Joker.
You don't screw with the Joker.
Ruined the rest of this guy's life.
Yeah. I did love that little bit where Batman and Robin saved him at the initial encounter, and like, Batman doesn't like it when the damsels in distress get hurt, and he's just like, but I'm not a damsel. And Robin's just like, way to be progressive, dude. Get out of here.
Yeah. So I also gave you Arkham Manor.
Yes, I've got Arkham Manor,
It's having a short run. I wanted you to at least get a little taste of it, see what you thought of it.
Yeah, because I read the first issue, didn't read the second one, and I kind of wish I did in hindsight, but oh well. So Victor Zsasz, he's on the loose in Arkham Manor, and Batman, who has been posing as an Arkham inmate, is trying to find him. And it turns out that Zsasz has been hiding in the walls like a trapdoor spider.
Ooh.
Yeah, getting busting out his Wikipedia entries there. And so he's like skittering around, jumping out walls and killing people, and then hiding the victims there and all sorts of stuff. And then, oh wait, there's Victor Zsasz, trapped in the walls himself, almost dead. Okay, so this wasn't as cut and dry as I thought it was. That's an issue there. So it's really Arkham Dr. Eric Border, who, as we all know, thinks that obvious name is actually the Joker.
Yes.
He's killing people, and he's going to reveal himself to Batman, but first he turns Clayface into Clownface?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much face value.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was sitting in a wheelchair that Batman immediately recognized and had Eric Border take off to the side because he doesn't know Eric Border's the Joker, obviously. And then when Joker found out that Clayface was hanging out in there, well, that's his house. That's not Clayface. You can't have you here. So he ends up forming him into Clownface, which is
however that works. Yeah,
I don't know how exactly. I'm assuming Joker toxin of some sort.
Probably, yeah.
It's an easy out on it. But now he's all like a creepy clay clown thing.
Yeah. His face is all over the place.
Yeah, he is. He is popping up all over the place. What did you think as far as the Mr. Freeze? He did a cameo appearance.
Still a robot on a Segway. Yeah,
because he's stuck in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Someone just turns him off. It's like, oh, I'm sick of listening to this guy blip.
No respect for Mr. Freeze.
Nope.
The tone wasn't quite as light in this one as the last issue. The last issue has a bunch of slapsticky type stuff where it was just like a weird mishmash of tones. This one was a lot more spooky.
Isn't this guy also writing like Deadpool or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you could see where some of that's bleeding in from.
Yeah.
But it was almost like a comic relief between the creepy sections of the book because there is some guy with flashlights on a helmet creeping through the walls, shoving ice picks into people's skulls. So,
yeah.
I mean, not quite as ha at that part.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want you to at least get a touch on it, just to see what you thought. Moving on though, Robin Rises Alpha. We had the Omega. Now it's time for the Alpha.
Okay.
We kind of get a recap of everything that happened in Batman and Robin a couple weeks ago where they actually resurrected Damian using the Chaos Shard, which has really had a lot of, effect on Damian Wayne if you really think about it, since that's also the same thing that Talia used to accelerate his growth.
Okay.
So it's, this thing is like really central to Damian. Kind of like everything circles around it. I'm waiting for the fact that Damian was just a dream brought on by the Chaos Shard.
Oh no.
I'm waiting for it.
Oh no.
I'm waiting for it and I'm going to be so mad. Because remember, it gives you whatever you want.
Oh yeah.
And Talia found it and then Damian came out of nowhere.
Oh man.
So anyway, moving on. Batman was only winded. He didn't actually die at the end of that issue.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I was worried there for a minute. I was really worried. Unfortunately, Cyborg is still locked down, so the portal to Apocalypse is still open, the boom tube. And they're like, hey, I know you guys are hugging it out over there, but open door to Apocalypse right here. And as they're trying to figure out what to do, there's this great scene right before everyone comes back from Apocalypse where it's just Alfred hanging out with the animals in the Batcave, and then the alarm goes off that the boom tube's opening. He just puts on his tie and puts on his coat, puts on a bandolier of bullets and this giant laser cannon, and he's just standing there like, oh, I am a British gentleman. But they all lock and load with the various weaponry and stand there, and that's when Calabac comes busting through the portal and just starts laying waste to everyone there, smacking them around, knocking everyone out, knocks Damian across the room, and they think he got killed because he crashes into the wall, but turns out Damian has superpowers. Superpower Damian! And he ends up basically with the help of his animal pals taking down Calabac. Titus.
Titus now.
Takes a big old bite out of the side of Calabac's face, and Calabac, before he can get a killing blow on Titus, slips on a BatCow patty and lands face first in front of BatCow, who just goes moo, and then Calabac swears his death and raises up his club, and there's like this exclamation point, moo, as he's trying to run away. It's just so weird. And that's when Damian finally knocks him in front of the portal, and Batman uses the Batwing to basically just plow him through, remote controls it right through the portal into, and Calabac, they close the portal behind him. Basically, it's Damian going, "Hey, everybody, I'm back, woo!" And everyone's handing over their Robin patches. There can only be one Robin. He's like, "Damn, Skiffy, and it's me!" And thanks Alfred for taking care of the animals, and goes, "Hey, Pops, by the way, I appear to have superpowers now." And Batman's just kind of like, "Why can it never be easy with you, kid?" So we cut away real quick back to Nanda Parbat, or at least outside of it, where
Nanda Narbot?
No, where a zombie-esque amnesiatic Talia al Ghul kills a bunch of campers up on the mountaintop. I'm assuming she was going to eat their brains, but they ask who she is, and she says she cannot remember. Remember, she was dead as well, so she was in the second sarcophagus next to Damian. So who knows? Maybe the Lazarus Pit woke her up or something, but we will find out. The two talk about how the death affected Bruce while Damian was dead, and before they can really continue any major plot moving forward in that conversation, the bat signal goes off, and off to work they go, except with Damian flying next to Batman this time instead of swinging.
Yeah, I was going to ask if he was flying or just jumping.
Nope, he's flying.
Okay.
He's soaring through the skies. He's super Damian. And I loved it. Absolutely love it. It's exactly what I want when Damian's around, especially with his animal pals.
Oh, yes.
I love exclamation point, woo, as he's trying to get away. So that's it. Great story. I'm happy he's back. They earned it. They didn't just go hey, how did you come back? I don't know how I came back, but I am back, and let us move forward with the story from here. Yes. So, anytime you earn it, I'm at least willing to let it pass. Any resurrections.
Gotcha.
So moving on.
All right, Harley Quinn number 13. So, Harley and Power Girl are still a superhero team, and there's some amusing antics because Power Girl lost her memory, and no matter how many times she gets hit on the head, she can't remember anything except for the fact that she's Power Girl. And then a pigeon poops on her head, and she gets her memory back.
Well, that was kind of the running joke, was the next knock on her head is probably going to bring back her memory, and she keeps being thrown through walls or boulders fall on her head.
And there's a lot of very legitimately funny scenes.
Yes.
Block King using his like Harry Potter time turner powers to save Sportsmaster
from his portable local nuclear device.
Yes, who's an idiot who buys weapons on eBay and doesn't read the instructions before he uses them. That was rather amusing.
I can use this nuclear device up close, right?
Yeah. They short range nuclear ballistic warhead. Thank you very much. There's also a lot of TNA and lesbian innuendo for 13-year-old boys. It's like every time there's very 2 steps forward, 2 steps back with me, like every other panel.
I love it. That's why I wanted you to read it, because after the half we were talking in between the break, and I was like, now I remember why I wanted you to read this one. It has everything that you would want in a humorous story and everything you would not want to see in any book, period.
Yep.
And I want to see which one won out between the two. So it's just a run-of-the-mill even for you, even though you got legitimate laughs out of it.
I got legitimate laughs out of it.
I mean, they earned those laughs.
Yes.
They were very funny. And it's not even the issue with the hula hoop and them being tossed through time and everything and the goofiness that was there. Because that one was just downright silly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least that's better than the first issue you read.
There were poop jokes.
Yeah.
There were several poop jokes.
Egg Foo showed up.
Yeah.
Yep. See? Everything you could want.
Yep.
You're such a prude.
I know.
Move on. What do you got? You got 2 of them here.
Oh, yeah, I do. I've got really me one in comic books I could share with my child. So Secret Origin number 8, special DCR podcast episode.
You keep saying that. Why do you keep saying that?
Well, it starts off with a recap of Grayson.
So good.
Grayson's origin. It is
so good.
Told from the point of Helena Bertolini nominating him for Spiral. And what an absolute hilarious goober Mr. Minos is.
Yes.
With his glasses, no face, and like jaunty sweater.
He is kind of just so jovial while being a supervillain.
Yes. We get Animal Man. We get the entire story of Animal Man series told by Jeff Lemire and Travel Foreman. That was super nice.
Yeah. And it's instead of being just the origin of Animal Man, it's his entire run recapped in a couple pages.
Yeah.
So it's basically, oh, you didn't read Animal Man, but you want to catch up with where he's been and what's happening? Here you go. Do you think Secret Origins would do much better if they took that route instead of telling the actual origin stories?
I think it'd be a great way to point people towards, okay, hey, you want to understand more about this book, or you want to read only one book before jumping onto a series instead of buying a whole, 5 trades? Hey, here's a thing you could do.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I thought that was a really good use of the space.
Yeah.
Because Animal Man's origin has been told a couple times already in the Animal Man books, outside of the Animal Man books, and it's okay, here we have this space, and let's just recap everything we did.
Yeah, Grayson was a great pitch for Grayson, which I know is a super good book now. Is like, oh yeah, that's a great way to lead into that.
And also, it still pushed this actual storyline ahead as well with the stuff between Helena and Dick Grayson, as far as how the Mr. Minos refused to allow Dick Grayson onto the team because his butt is just too sexy.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at Nightwing's butt and you're gonna fall in love with him, and we can't have that.
That's his superpower. Final story is Katana. Katana is dragging Mona Shard in her full bone armor across the desert and tells her origin story. Now, did you know about Katana's origin story?
Yes, I think we've heard that a lot.
No, we have not actually. She made 2 brothers, Maseo and Takeo, fight over her. They collected weapon cards, and she needed one more weapon card to complete her deck. Where else would you find a complete deck of weapon cards but on the ghost train of weapon freaks, Sean?
Sure.
She fought Garrote Girl, Sword Boy, and Hammerhead. She got the Soul Taker card for doing it. Her parents made her apologize for stealing a card from a ghost train to some old Hattori Hanzo guy who had nothing to do with the ghost train whatsoever, but he told her to pretend to be girly and learn how to kill people. And then when Mona Shard and Katana make it to Gallows Town, the ghost train shows back up and she sentences the ghost of Mona Shard to become the new weapon freak on it. Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. And then the bully girl that Mona possessed becomes Katana's new sidekick.
Strap some bones on.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I just had no idea. The weapon cards. So they have a collectible card game that they played against each other?
That's what you go to Weapon Con for, to get all your weapon to get all your weapon card Pokemon.
Yes, the scene where she has to go apologize to the old guy for stealing the card off the train. Even I was like, well, wait, what does this old guy have to do with it? Where did he come from?
And yet that little moment between the bully and Katana as she becomes her apprentice, that was kind of great.
It really was.
Yeah, it was like that last chapter of the Katana. It was my happy Katanica.
Yeah, happy Katanica. Yep.
I finally got some closure on that Katana series.
There you go. Now you can finally sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a little bit about Grayson. I also had a Grayson annual that I'm going to go a little light on this one, because it is just like the Future's End issue. It is something you have to read to really kind of appreciate. Even if I had all the time in the world, I would not be able to do it justice. In this case, we're in rainy Ireland, and a gentleman by the name of Rockin Rob is there, and he has captured Helena Bertinelli and wants to turn her into the local crime group that has a wanted poster for her. In this case, a gentleman by the name of St. Francis, Godfather of the Green, who is the chief guy of the crime family in Ireland there. And he basically goes, hey, I caught her. I want to turn her in, but they have to get his story straight. And he tells them about how he used to work in Gotham, but then he made bombs for all the villains there. One detonated. It cut his head. His brain got injured, and now none of the little hypnos devices that the Spiral people use works on him. So just one day when he was working on a contract, he looked up, saw her and what apparently was her bodyguard. We know it's Dick Grayson. Were standing there. No one else seemed to pay any heed to them. They were saying they were Cheshire and someone else. So I got the jump on them, tased them both. the guy got away, but I caught her, and I was told if I hand her over to St. Francis, as long as I shake his hand, he will not renege on the deal, and we can all, I get a bunch of money, you get the person you're after, everybody wins. But he's telling all these Irish yarns, just spinning these tales the entire time as they're at the club and the bars and talking about giants and who needs to fight and about how he used to date redheads, but then they're too crazy and he can't handle it anymore and blah, blah, blah. And finally they go, well, we just need to get your story straight. We're going to call our contact back in Gotham. They call the contact. He corroborates the story. The contact, of course, being Matches Malone. See? And they go to meet St. Francis, and then it turns out that Rockin' Rob was actually Dick Grayson. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Rockin' Rob tweet was actually a Robin.
Yes.
When you go back and read all of his dialogue through the issue, it's so hysterical when you put it in the context of Dick Grayson talking about how, me first love was a redhead and me second love, she was a redhead.
Yes.
So it's very fun when you go back and read it. And the entire premise of the story, like the big story he was telling while he was still in character, was that only an Irishman can win a war just by telling a story instead of actually having the fight. And that's the whole thing, is he's just been telling all these stories, and it got them to St. Francis, who they end up capturing. He had one of the cybernetic pieces or whatever it is that's emulating one of the superpowers of the Justice League, in this case Green Lantern. That's why he's St. Francis, Godfather of the Green. He has like a glow around him. And they mind wiped the thugs that actually took them there, and then the one that was a jerk the entire time gets the blame for killing St. Francis, because who's going to believe them that a couple people from Spiral showed up and tricked them all into it. That's just a crazy story. No one would believe it. And so he ends up getting shot in the head and killed for it. It's just such a great layered, nuanced storytelling in these Grayson books. And that's what's really selling it for me. It just makes it a fun read, and then you can go back and read it again and get a completely different story. And it's not all flash. There's substance. There's some serious substance to each one of them. And it just makes me happy every time I get a new issue. So I cannot say enough positive things. I think I got another one here, and that is Catwoman Annual. I'm digging the Catwoman stuff. It is the Godfather / Sopranos mix of Catwoman trying to run the crime families of Gotham City. In this case, we're dealing with the new Catwoman that showed up. Remember, she retired the costume, has become the smart, sensible, slack suit Catwoman.
Yeah.
But then someone else starts showing up dressed up as Catwoman, and who the heck is this person? What's happening here?
Catwoman fights for freedom. It's like, no, she doesn't. What Catwoman have you been watching?
We actually get this, the backstory to this one, because it is Eiko Hasegawa, the daughter of the Hasegawa crime family, that's just about to team up with the Catwoman's syndicate that she's building. She's been kept low by her father. Basically, he doesn't trust her to take over the family. Very traditional, as far as it should be my son or something like that takes over. You're not good enough, blah, 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 blah. So she's been kind of faking the entire time that she's dumb when she's not. And then, basically her father just keeps screwing her over every chance he gets. Like, she's best friends with her cousin, but he ends up cutting off her cousin's finger for failing a job and sends him back home overseas. She tries to keep him out of the way because she's going to show up as Catwoman and mess up this entire deal that her dad's doing just to screw him back. But he gets sent anyway, and because it's failed, her cousin gets killed. So it's basically her trying to claim her independence from her father. She is fighting for her freedom from the oppression of this family that she has found herself in.
And then they just keep killing other people.
Yes, well, I mean, yeah, there's all those people that are dying too, but so yes, Catwoman does fight for freedom in this case, but in this case it's her own personal freedom. And she was jealous. She knows Selena Kyle was Catwoman, but she can't, like, there's a great scene where she turns around, she's tailing Selena Kyle, and she turns around, Batman's standing there, and she's like, hi? And Batman's going, who are you? Oh, I'm Catwoman, obviously. See? I'm Catwoman. He's like, you're not Catwoman. I know Catwoman, trust me, and you're not Catwoman. And, basically she's just standing there going, so, are we gonna fight now or something? Is that what happens next? He's like, no, as Batman, I do not condone violence. I try to limit it as much as humanly possible. It's actually a very funny scene. Again, it's kind of a street level look at all of these heroics that are going on, but told from the point of view of the crime families themselves. And it's very, very interesting with all of the double cross and, temporary alliances that are being made between the different factions, even within the very families themselves. To me, very fun to read. Very fun. So, move on.
All right, Gotham by Midnight, number 2.
Speaking of style.
Nothing but.
Yeah.
Nothing but.
Well, no, it's got more than just style.
Well, it's nothing but in a good way.
Yes.
You know, nobody believes us. Nobody understands us. Nobody wants us here, but we're too busy protecting you to care.
Yeah.
Love those first page things.
Yep.
God, best first page in the business. All right. So chapter 2, we will not rest. Corrigan and Rook, the internal affairs guy, last issue came across a schoolhouse in Slaughter Swamp being run by a demon nun who kidnapped a bunch of children, brainwashed them, you know.
Overwrote their languages.
Yeah, you know, that old thing.
Yeah, you know.
So they've got to deal with the fighting the demon nun. Meanwhile, Sister Justine flashes back to when she met Corrigan, and he saved her from some evil demon priest and nun for using names that the kids speaking gobbledygook have been saying. So we also get some off-panel hinting that the Spectre only shows up when Corrigan can't figure things out for himself.
And kind of takes the most drastic measure possible, so that's why Corrigan's always trying to solve it before Spectre
exactly.
shows
His right
up.
hand starts glowing. He's like, oh, crap, I gotta get this done now.
Yep.
It introduces this great ticking clock whenever some crap goes down.
Yeah, honestly, that's a great idea.
It's an amazing device, yeah.
Yeah, where Corrigan is like, if I don't solve this, everyone's going to be smoted around me.
Yes, and the fact that Sister Justine did not get smoted means that she's a pure soul. It's like, you can really help me out on this.
There's like maybe 3 of you in Gotham,
Yeah,
so
seriously.
I'm keeping you with me.
Mm-hmm. So Corrigan stops the demon nun with sound files of an old school bell to stave off the Spectre. I thought that was a nice little thing. He's like, crap, this phone's shot because my ghost powers are just going to fry it, but it'll give me, I got 30 seconds. Dong, dong. The team puts together the clues from Justine, and they realize that something with either 5 names or 5 bodies is trying to move into Gotham, and we just gotta shove this big, gigantic, eldritch, whatever you would call that thing.
Yeah, demon...
Lovecraft monster?
Lovecraft.
That's my shorthand on this, even though I've never read any Lovecraft.
That's a good shorthand, yeah.
But yeah, it's...
Keep zooming in on those flowers, too, in Slaughter Swamp.
Yep, so...
Telling you.
A lot of cool stuff going on in this book.
Those, what were they called?
Black Flowers of Slaughter Swamp?
No, the villains of, Seven Soldiers.
Oh, the Time Tailors?
No.
Or
the actual little fairies, the evil fairies.
Oh, the Sheeta.
Yeah, the Sheeta. Yeah.
If the Sheeta show up, I will lose my crap. That's just the end of it right there.
And done.
And done. This is the best book ever.
No, tons of style. Some people are kind of like, which as I said, with this type of stylistic choice, that's what you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Some people are, it's just not going to be aimed towards them. It's a very specific style.
I understand some people want their superhero comics to look a certain way, whereas when I see Mr. Rook turn into a freakish cartoon character because he's freaking out that there's a demon nun coming after him, I am all for that.
Yes.
That's on my list of things that I like a lot. So.
Again, this is kind of as we're seeing, DC and all of the publishers even are dealing with a connoisseur market of comic readers. You literally have to specialize and focus and find something. What makes you different than the last 80 years of this that has been happening? What are you bringing to the table that's new? And that's what's going to get you readers. And they're
why I'm so excited for Howard the Duck and Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, and they're taking those chances and they're doing it. I mean, these creators, we're living in a very good time for comics, I think, because of that. Yeah. Because the market has realized that it is a connoisseur market, and they have to bring something to the table that will make people excited pretty much. And I think this one does that for me. I know obviously it does for you as well, but
yeah.
I just want to say I understand why some people aren't digging it, because it is a specific style. And if it's not aimed up your alley at all, there's no retreat for you.
If you don't like Gotham by Midnight, have I got a book for you? I've got Justice League Dark number 37.
I was trying to make it such a gentle segue, and you just have to throw a haymaker instead.
Yeah. All right, so we find out that Black Orchid's name is Elba Garcia.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, that was kind of anticlimactic the way you did it.
So Black Orchid, Madame Xanadu, and Deadman. When the House of Wonders exploded, the Justice League Dark team got scattered throughout somewhere.
Time and space.
Somewhere. So they were sort of trapped in a place that looked like the Convergence ad.
Actually, very much so.
And then they broke out of it, and they wound up in a place that has no time, and everything is frozen except for this guy named Lord Arif. So
Everything is frozen.
No. It's not like your local toy store. It is it's just kind of everything's trapped in time.
So not everything is aqua and covered in snowflakes?
No. There's like fetuses in
Ew.
the air
What?
and stuff. And,
That's gross.
Fetuses and palaces, you
Yeah,
know.
Not a winter wonderland.
That is not a winter wonderland at all.
Yeah. Rolling back away. Even my phone is trying to get away from this book.
Hey!
So Lord Arif puts the moves on Madame Xanadu. She kisses him, and then he dies because time. And then
because she takes him out of his time frozen stature, and as soon as he knows time, all of the years that he's been there catches up with him.
Yeah.
And then he dies.
Then it
and he seems
cycles
kind of
back around
happy
on him,
about it.
and
he's kind of like, cool, that's what time's like.
He also comes back to life a few times and dies again.
Yes.
And then a big black wave with eyes shows up. And also in this issue, Zatanna meditated in front of a tree, and by the end of the issue, the tree has a face.
Yeah, I don't know enough about what's happening there myself.
If that was supposed to be a face we recognized, unfortunately the art was not clear enough for me to go, oh my gosh, that tree has a face. It's just like, oh, that tree has a face.
It was like the tree in Pocahontas.
I would assume
Not
wasn't
even that.
Swamp Thing hanging out with them? I'm pretty sure he was.
He was, but it looked too human to be Swamp Thing.
Why no? I'm not saying it's Swamp Thing. Maybe it's Alec Holland or something.
Okay, maybe.
I don't know. I'm trying to help here. There was nothing wrong with this issue. You're being much too negative upon it. The giant cloud with a face, I was kind of like, what the hell is that? But I mean, other than that,
a wave, but you know.
Yeah, other than that, I was kind of, it was telling a story at least.
Telling a story.
I mean, you cannot complain that it told a story just because you don't have the time to cover it. So moving on. I have Aquaman.
Okay.
Aquaman really pulling out all the stops as far as setting up the interweaving Aquaman and Atlantis into the rest of the DCU. Because they go and they find the Stargate, as I'm calling it, that Aquaman's mom used to escape Atlantis.
Not
she
the
didn't actually die.
Fargate.
Not the Fargate, the Stargate. And Arthur and Mara just go...
Fargate is nothing like the Stargate.
Not at all. They go strutting on through the portal there and end up in Gorilla City? What?
Okay.
and even Mara's just there like, what the hell? And it seems Aquaman and Sullivar, who
Jeff
we find
Parker
out...
writing about apes? Who would have thought?
I know. But it turns out Sullivar... the now king of Gorilla City, survived all that stuff in Central City, barely. They were able to at least, he has a big scar on his chest where that sign ran him through. Do you remember all that?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he survived it and is now king of Gorilla City. And, we find out basically that, well, I wasn't king when your mom came through. Grodd was. We have him kept in a pen over there. Do you want to, talk to him or something? And he's like, yeah, that'd be cool. And they go over and they talk to Grodd, who is very, very Hannibal Lecter if he was a gorilla, kind of. But he's basically saying, yeah, I was here when your mom came through. I know exactly what happened, but I'm not going to tell you unless you fight me. I just need the thrill of battle again. I'm a gorilla. I like to fight. Grr, let's do it, Aquaman. And Aquaman's like, Flash beats you up all the time. I'm better than Flash. I can take you down. So they end up fighting. And as they're fighting, we get the story as to why there is a gate from Atlantis to Gorilla City. It turns out Gorilla City used to be an Atlantean outpost. It was a trading post for the surface world. And, they needed workers to carry all their boxes. So they fed smart kale to all the local gorillas to use them as slave labor, essentially. And then eventually those gorillas got too smart. So the Atlanteans chased them off into the woods and They would have these skirmishes in the woods until finally one of the leaders of the guerrillas, in this case probably Grodd or one of his ancestors, ate the brain of one of the Atlantean generals, and that's how he gained all of the knowledge of warfare. And that's why Grodd eats the brains of everyone that he kills.
Okay.
To gain their powers and knowledge and everything. It's this whole meshing of now the Atlanteans are responsible for the sentient gorillas and stuff like that. Whoops, our bad.
Man, smart Kale. They knew Dr. Oz science before Dr.
Yeah,
Oz knew his bullcrap science.
So they keep fighting, and then he tells Arthur about, I was here. Your mom came through the portal. She was as big a jerk as you are. We were like, hey, how'd you get here? And she's like, oh, it's easy. You just need a key like this here scepter, and you need one of these tablet things. It'll tell you where you're going, like this one here that I'm going to pick up off the ground, and then yoink, she just ran right back through the portal with half of our keys. Ooh, you. And he's like, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now that I have a key as well. So he goes whoop, 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 takes Arthur's trident, opens up the portal, and jumps through as Arthur jumps in after him. Again, it's the meshing of Aquaman's world and Atlantis with the rest of the DC universe that they've been doing throughout all of Parker's books. Throughout most of these, actually. Even when Johns was writing it, there's been a lot of really embedding him into the world in general instead of just, I'm underwater guy, what's up?
I talk to fish.
Yeah.
Hey, Aquaman. Aquaman. There we go. I'm almost getting there.
Yeah, almost had it. But there's so many plot threads they can run with as far as the Greek mythology with Wonder Woman now, the, obviously the Gorilla City stuff with Flash. He's just got a Swamp Thing in him or at odds. I mean, there's so many.
The Swamp Thing are the best worst friends.
So many different angles you can take the character now to have these interplay with the rest of the world. And, that's not an easy thing to do for I Talk to Fish guy, to be honest.
Yes.
So I'm pretty impressed. Next up.
Star-Spangled War Stories featuring G.I. Zombie number 5.
And they even reference what I've been saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they do. They really do. So after, dealing with that town that got hit by a zombie virus, the army is trying to quarantine / wipe out any trace of the infection of the town they just saved, dealing with the possibility of infected animals, and Jared starts to zombie out, so they fly in a death row murderer to feed him so he can go back to normal.
Such an awkward
It
scene.
is pitch black and hilarious. Like, we follow this convicted killer for a couple pages. It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting transferred. I'm going to break out. Ha ha ha. It's like, well, we're going to serve your country here, sir. It's like, oh, what am I going to do? I've got special skills, don't I? It's like, nope, you're zombie food.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yes, as the agents just awkwardly wait outside a tent as Jared goes full
then,
zombie. And then comes out covered in blood. It's like, oh, hey guys, it's like, nice to see you. It's like, oh, we thought you didn't like us, Jared. It's like, oh no, I love you guys. You guys are great. Well, say hi to the wife and kids for me. Covered in blood,
so
jaunty walking away.
Awkwardly weird.
Yeah, so
I love that tone. They've mastered that tone in this book.
Right? I'm gonna miss this book. So his partner Carmen is still in the James Bond villain underground skull-shaped volcano cave and relaxation spa. They've got a halfway decent overthrow of the government plan, and is she gonna join up with their side because it's such a good plan, or is she just doing her secret double agent work? That's what we're supposed to think. She's probably doing secret double agent work.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just going along with the story. So Jared meets up with literal Sam Elliott.
Yes. That was what I said, too.
His name is Elliott, but it's like, oh, hey, Sam Elliott, nice to see you. You're walking in on this issue of...
Now the dude,
Now the zombie, he was... So he gets his new mission, which is to infiltrate the spa and get info from Carmen. While he's getting ready at the hotel, some random lady just shows up with some sketchy trucker guys and runs into his hotel room. So Jared takes out the sketchy guys, only to find out that the lady is some professional killer, and she puts a bullet through his head and kills the other guys. And it's like, what's going on here?
Well, she was the agent that drove his partner there to the underground volcano.
Okay, all right. So
she was sent out to kind of capture people that were getting a little too close.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they don't know he's a zombie. They just know he's an agent.
That makes more sense because I did miss an issue or two.
Yeah.
So Jared fakes being dead. He gets rid of all the extra evidence as she's calling people to take them away. And he gets packed up in a garbage bag and driven off somewhere to be buried. And man, are these people going to be surprised when it turns out Jared's not dead and he's going to,
Well, he was
Full
taken to
zombie on
the
him.
loading deck of the underground volcano spa and relaxation
Yeah.
center. Because that's what you do there.
yeah.
Most relaxed people in there are dead. Yeah, it's a great time. I did love the fact that he's supposed to be a video game designer. He's like, I haven't even played a game since Pong. I'm like a Civil War zombie here.
Yeah.
Is Pong still in? Is that what
Yeah.
we're developing still?
Leap, loop, leap. Go right, go down, go left. Continue going downward.
I pick up the candle. Incorrect syntax. Grab candle. Incorrect syntax. Take candle. You now have a candle. The last book in our run of freaking marathon is Red Hood and the Outlaws Annual. My Christmas fun. It's not the best Christmas one. I remember during the break there was the Larfleeze issue of Christmas where Larfleeze found out Earth had Christmas and you could just ask for whatever you wanted and got it and everything was going to be his, so he spent the entire issue writing out his Christmas list. That one was probably up there pretty high too.
Yeah.
In this one though, we are dealing with the 8-year-old Onesie Outlaws. Starfire, Arsenal, and Red Hood are all 8 years old wearing onesies of their costumes. And they're coming down the stairs at Wayne Manor because Santa is there and they're gonna catch him. And just roll with me.
Okay.
They confront Santa, but it turns out to be Susie Sue, so they shoot her until she's just a bunch of goop on the ground. Okay. Someone stole Santa Claus. We have to go find her. Or find Santa and find out what happened to him. But
Is
that's
Susie Sue a Red Hood character?
It was in the early issues of Red Hood.
Okay.
It was a gangster that they were dealing with that Red Hood had ticked off, blah, 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 whatever. Unfortunately, grumpy dad Batman shows up and yells at them for being out of bed on Christmas Eve and locks them down in the Batcave saying, you guys have to stay down here or Santa's not gonna come, stupid kids. And then they ride the dinosaur that comes to life out of the Batcave.
Okay.
So they can steal Santa's sleigh that's on the roof as Batman is down there shaking his fist yelling at these rascally kids who won't listen to him.
Alfred, come on, help me. Shake harder.
Really get grumpy here. They make their way to the war-torn North Pole, where they have to split up so they can find Santa Claus, and they have to deal with stuff like feral reindeer that are eating people, like the elves and everything, killer toys, mutant gingerbread cookies that are also attacking them.
Yeah.
But Jason finally finds Santa Claus, who is so sick and tired of being Santa Claus, he just wants Jason Todd to kill him, and he knows Jason Todd is such a bad boy that he will do it. You're Red Hood. Here's a serrated knife. Do what you do with it. But he won't do it. He throws it down. Something's not right here. This is just wrong. And he ends up kind of shaking off whatever it is, and then we find out that it is a scion that has been held prisoner that was giving him all of these images. He's actually the scion that actually...
Boxy car?
No, the Psion.
Okay.
Yes, the alien race. This was the guy that gave Starfire her powers, did all the experiments on her.
Oh, those guys. Yeah.
The weird little lizard alien guys. But he failed because Starfire got away, so Hellspawn tied him up in this room, and he has been dying a slow death in here, and he just wants to die, and he knows Jason Todd will do it. So he begs and pleads, and finally Jason Todd goes, fine, it's Christmas, and kills him, but then looks up into the camera and goes, Hellspawn! This is like the third time your name has come up in our series, but we still haven't seen you. Once I'm done finding all the rest of my team and saving them, I'm coming for you. You keep messing with me. And it basically pans out to the spaceship where Hellspawn is sitting on his throne like, who are these idiots and why do they keep yelling at me all the time? And he turns to his left and goes, hey, can you fill me in on these people? You hung out with them before, right? Blackfire? Oh, Blackfire's a bad guy now. What a twist. The first 3/4 of the book is so great with them on onesies and riding dinosaurs and just having so much fun, and it's so fun.
I'm sure it was.
Time. And it's all like weird cartoon, like the dinosaurs, like this weird little cartoon when it comes to life, like Frosty the Snowman, and they're just riding it. I think you would enjoy it.
I probably would.
You would. Until it got to the back half, I
No,
would
yeah.
say. And then before that, though, you would have fun. I quite enjoyed it. But that's it. That's all of our books.
Woo!
We did it somehow.
Yay!
Again, apologies. We know it was kind of haphazard this week. To fit 26 books into one episode meant sacrifices had to be made.
Yeah.
And we made them. So sorry you guys had to make them as well. Next week we will be back on track though. But before we get to that, what should these people do to help?
Go buy the books.
That's right. We need you guys to go buy these books. The holidays are over. You all have so much money in your pockets post holidays, right? Just burning holes, just piles of cash. Scrooge McDuck vaults of gold.
Racks
bullions.
on racks.
Yep. Go out there and spend it. Get rid of it. It's poison. Get rid of that money. It's poison.
Support local businesses.
No, just make sure you pick up the books that sound interesting to you. If you don't buy them, they don't make them. No one wins. It's literally a vote with your wallet thing. So if something sounds interesting and you want to see it survive, you have to buy it or it won't be there. So that's basically what it comes down to. Next week, God, it feels so good. 12 books.
I could deal with it.
I can deal with that too. 6 apiece. Heck, that's, we did that in between the break practically.
Yeah.
Next week we got Aquaman and the others with, Prisoner of War, being all angry against the operative still. Earth 2 number 30 looks like we're dealing mostly with the avatars there. Earth 2 World's End number 14 continuing the weekly. Green Arrow number 38 just looking like Green Arrow hanging out on the front. Okay. Lobo number 4, Sexy Time Lobo versus Superman. Justice League 3000 number 13, we're getting another old member of the JLI, maybe? Maybe. New 52 Future's End number 36, the family portrait of the new Langs. They're gonna be great. Green Lantern number 38, it looks like we get the conversation between Hal and, Carol, now that it's been found out what's going on. Awkward. Spooky Time Ghost Stories continue in Action Comics number 38. Detective Comics number 38. Maybe a little anarchy in there. Maybe just a little bit. Swamp Thing number 38. Cyborg Anton Arcane joining the fray, it looks like. Not good.
No.
Not good. And last but not least, Batman Eternal number 40 with Batman and the Riddler snowboarding down an avalanche. Just cuz.
Extreme.
Extreme.
Batman the Riddler meet the Deedles.
So that's something I can live with. There's a good mix of books there that I quite enjoy. As such, if you guys do want to contact us, Kelly, what can they do?
Type in DCR podcast into the internet.
That's correct. That's where we live. We live on the internet. Well, I visit it on occasion.
Got a vacation home there.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It's quite nice. I heard, are you in the seedy underbelly of the internet?
I'm not quite in the Undernet.
Okay, good. Because it's not nice there at all. But just type in DCR Podcast and it'll pop up with all the options. Or you can email us at feedback@dcrpodcast.com. That said, do you guys have anything before we take off? We did it under 2 hours. Amazing. I almost dropped a very naughty word on you. A very naughty word. So, without any further ado, everyone enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives.
And Happy New Year.
You know it, and we will talk to you next week.